So far, revisions have been complicated. I don't know what else to say. And I realized that some of her background is similar to my next project. Hi, good morning, guys. My name is Belle Brooke. I'm an aspiring author, and today we are going to try to our best to get unstuck with outlining draft 2. I was on a roll last week, as you guys can see in the vlog. I'm going to link it above. But I could not sleep last night because I was thinking about it and realized that I was doing the same mistakes in the outline that I was creating because I do not know my FMC well enough. So I'm going to take her on a date this morning. We're going to get to know each other. I'm going to know her so well. That I won't have this problem, I think. I don't know. So we're going to go back to the basics. I'm going to go through a Story Genius because it's a great book to have when it comes to getting to know your character. And I do believe in the fact that, it is the character and how they portray the world and how they experience it that makes a story great. So I'm going to do that this morning. That's where we're at, and hopefully we work through this. So far, revisions have been complicated. I don't know what else to say. I definitely enjoy drafting more. Let me know down below which one you like more, because I'll tell you this, drafting is my favorite part. We're going to do this. It is 7:55 a.m. and I have been working on fleshing out my FMC a lot more. So I really looked at her core misbelief because I feel like I was dancing around it, and it does tie into her, the things that happened to her in the past, her trauma, right? And at the core of it is a misbelief of not being good enough, which is, I believe, a lot of young women deal with that. The lack of feeling worthy, self-acceptance. And I think remembering why I even had this idea for a story and where it began, it connects with everything, and the overall plot as well. It connects with the overall plot of balance of good and bad in the world and within ourselves. I need to remember this. So in the future me, if you forget what the theme is and what the whole point of this story is, it's that accepting all, the good and the bad of not just the world, but also yourself, because we can't always just choose to only see the one thing, because then that skews our worldview and it skews our view of ourselves. So I'm happy that I did this exercise. It took about 2 hours, and now I told myself that I need to get into my regular workout routine, because when I have one thing that I love, I tend to focus on that one thing. And again, that's the balance, right? That's why I'm writing this. We all need balance, and that includes accepting our faults and our past and our present and our future. So I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just been thinking a lot about why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I gotta retitle or rename this document, because I was writing it, I was brain dumping everything, all the reason why I'm doing that, and really it's because of this book. And I really do need to finish it so that I don't get stuck again before I do the scenes. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold off on writing the scenes. I'm going to finish this book so I remember why I'm doing what I'm doing. because now I think like I need to rewrite some of the scenes. Like I still have like my beat sheet, and it's still going to be the same because it does follow that, and it does hint at the themes and the whys of why I'm doing this. But the scenes did not. It was like dancing around it. So I'm glad that I did this, and I think this is, I'm gonna finish reading this. It's what I'm gonna focus on the next few days. I don't know what that's gonna be like for the vlog, except for the fact that this is a lot of me just talking out loud and processing what's going on in my head. And I mean, that's the reason why I'm doing vlogs, is to get all this stuff out and to show you guys my process and to share with the world. But I'm gonna finish this book. I'm gonna give myself until 8:15, and then I'm gonna go downstairs and do my morning workout routines. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. It is Tuesday, February 4th. And you know how yesterday I was reading this, I was doing the exercises, I was going and enjoying it and getting to know my FMC, and then I realized that is not who my FMC is. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like I have the plot, the story, and then there's her. And it's like a square peg in a round hole, and it just does not fit. She does not fit in this story. At least this version of her. Because I feel like I'm forcing her to be this kind of person when she's not that. She is not afraid. She is weary, right, of people. She's doing actually a very brave thing, and her personality and what she's doing doesn't match. Her actions, her words doesn't match what's going on up here, and I think that's the issue that I'm having. And so now what I really want to do, I'm going to finish this book, I'm going to redo the exercises, and we're going to get this done. We're going to figure it out, and we're just going to go through it. We're going to go through the muck of this issue. I don't even know if it's an issue or if anyone has ever had this issue. I just need to unlock her, if that makes sense. Once I unlock her, once I know her, everything else falls into place. And the thing is, I have the plot. I know what I want to say. I know what my story is. But how can I connect her with it? That is the question. And that is where I'm at. All right, guys, I am back and I feel better with what I have. I've been reading Story Genius and going over it again. And I've also made like a big, like, little brain dump of all the things that's going in my head and how the overall plot connects with the character arc for the FMC. And I wrote Fourth Wing X Princess Mononoke to remind me like the inspiration for this. And also I was doing the exercise that Story Genius called for, and like I remember my why of doing this, and a lot of it is young adults and that search of feeling like you belong and feeling worthy of belonging specifically. But a lot of it is to feel like you belong and to feel like you're worthy, or to accept yourself, or to love yourself. That means accepting all parts of you. And that is a big theme here of balance, of accepting the good and bad of yourself and the things around you. So I remembered why I started this, like what brought this idea about, and it's young adults, young adult women specifically. And when I say young adults, I mean like 20-year-olds, 18 and up. It is a time where most young women are trying to figure out who they are and trying to love parts of themselves, even though it's really hard. And sometimes it's because they carry a lot of pain. And that's the reason why I'm writing this, because that can be really difficult. And I'm like 35, and I remember feeling that way, you know, like just not feeling like you're enough, or that you're not worthy of belonging because you can't even accept parts of yourself. So this is good, and I'm glad that I narrowed it down to that. And now I am about to enter into writing what caused the misbelief of my FMC, which is feeling unworthy. I'm at the part where I'm writing when her fatal flaw or misbelief took place, and I'm a little caught between making it really harsh or not make it harsh, you know, because this is it is a pretty extreme one, I think, but I'm not quite sure. So I have to think on that a little bit. I know what it involves, but I don't know. She is I don't want to say it, especially on this video, mostly because one, it's a sensitive topic, but also it could ruin the book. So I think I need to discuss this with like someone else. I think I need to talk to a friend of mine who's a therapist, to just, because I want to make it realistic. The thing is, it doesn't matter what happened. It is how a person sees it that is what trauma is, right? It's how you perceive it, how it affects you. So, because one thing can happen to another person, let's say like, I don't know, like something like hurricane, because we are here in Texas. A hurricane happens, let's say Hurricane Harvey, which was a massive deal a few years ago. Not a few, like maybe 5 years or more than 5 years. Some people think that that was traumatic, that the sound of rain triggered them. But for some people, it was whatever, right? And it's how they are as a person and how they experienced it and how they perceived it. And so what I'm saying is that what happens to her really doesn't matter, but how she sees it. And maybe it doesn't have to be that harsh, because she's a child here. Not so much a child, but like she's like 15, 16 years old when it happens. And at that time, developmentally, your identity has not formed at all. In fact, you're trying to figure out who you are. Although for some people, that continues on to young adulthood, which is what's happening to her. So I'm going to think on this a little bit more, on this event that's going to happen in her life, and decide whether or not I'm going to make it extreme or not. Because we'll see. What am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? Of making it non-extreme. Of making it extreme, I'm sorry. Back. Because I want to talk about this real quick. So, being girls, like young girls, like teens, preteens, teenagers, we all have had that one friend that wasn't an actual friend. Anybody else? Like, it is so cliche, right?
to have a friend that's not really a friend, it's like almost like a Regina George type. And I mean, that's the reason why Regina George was even born out of Tina Fey's head, right? It's because there are girls like that. But is it enough to traumatize a young teenager, she's a teenager? I think yes, right? Like I said earlier, it all depends on that person's perspective of what happened. And I feel like if your only friend is like that, very narcissistic, you know, gaslighting and manipulative, that will take a toll. Even if you're young, and I want to highlight that too. I want to highlight that even if something like that seems trivial to other people, specifically when you're a teenager, a teenage girl, and you have a friend like that, that will mess you up in the head, like in so many ways. And I think that that's what I'm going to put here, because we've all had, I'm not saying everyone has had, but there's been a majority of people that have had that experience. Because like I said, there is a Regina George. You know, there's a Regina George. There's always this cliche stereotype character that always gets jealous of the main character. So we don't know what it is. We don't know why. Typically it's jealousy, something in the household. Anyway, that's what's going to happen here. Because initially I was going to make this person that's going to do this to her be so evil, right? But it was a little too much, you know. And I am somebody that, even though I worked with when I was a therapist, I worked with a very extreme population. I think that's the reason why I cannot like write some of this stuff, even watch some of the crime stuff and murder stuff. I can't, because I remember everything that I've had to work with. So I'm gonna do this, which is much more of the average population, I believe. Am I even making sense, y'all? Something is gonna happen between her and this girl. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna mess our FMC up in the head. And I just want to showcase that female friendships can be hard to navigate, especially when you're a teen, man. You just never know. Anyway, I'm gonna write this. All right. Okay, cool. So, update. I've decided when her misbelief took root. And so I'm writing the scene right now, and in Story Genius, she suggests that it is written first person perspective, and haven't done that in quite a long time. So I have it here. I'm not quite done because I ran out of time. Also, I was highly distracted by AuthorTube. I have not watched AuthorTube the way I was watching it when I was drafting, because I used it as a reward system. But I wanted to catch up with everyone's stuff, because I do love AuthorTube quite a bit. I've been watching the life of Nasa. Girl, I hope I am saying it right, but I love her content. Faith-based, author, lifestyle, I love it. Such a great channel. I am gonna put her down below. And I was also watching Jordy's last video when she rewrote her childhood story that she wrote. Oh, it's so good. It was so good. Also gonna link that below, and also Jordy's channel as well. I've been really like watching everyone's stuff. Everyone inspires me, and it just makes me want to, like, especially during revisions, like I'm finding it a lot harder than drafting. Seeing everyone's progress makes me want to just get on top of the ball. Good.
I am putting a pause on writing the scenes for draft two, mostly because I don't know. We'll pause on that for now because I think I need to figure my FMC first, and those scenes center around her. Um, so thankfully, I didn't write too many scenes, and I can just quickly go back and like change a few things here and there. Um, I'm still considering if I should like have multiple POVs or if I should have one POV. I like third person omniscient, but I'm not sure if I want it to be just my FMC's point of view because I do like going into the MC's perspective, but I think I'll just do one. I don't know. Something to think about, and I think I'll figure that out later. So future me can worry about that. Originally, draft one has 3 point of views, the MMC1 and MMC2, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this scene that I'm writing, and that showcases how my FMC got her misbelief. This will never make it to the draft. It will be hinted at, and I guess knowing it really helps, like the origin of it, because everything that she will do is now based on that misbelief. So, good morning, guys. We're still writing this scene, and I promise the next time I check in, I will be done with it, and I will be done with this. Not done with it because that's impossible. Maybe have done other things by the time I check in next. I'm pretty sure CK has like a productivity sprint later this morning. I am gonna hop onto that and show my support, but also be forced to work on this. Also, if you guys hear the cat, I'm so sorry. I don't know what she wants from me, but I do know what I want, which is coffee. And I'm gonna go make some. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I finished writing the scene that I was supposed to write on when her misbelief happened. And now I'm moving along and I'm creating other scenes that are supposed to be like her past, right? So that I have like, I don't know, like a catalog in the back of my head about how she came to be, like the FMC, because that's the whole point of this is knowing my FMC better. Um, and I realized that some of her background is similar to my next project, Project Valeria. Um, has that ever happened to you guys? Like where there's like a little bit of similarity between your projects, and now I have to like reconsider a little bit more. Oh my god, my brain! If I could just divide my brain, so it could just like think of this one thing and not mesh into one big mess, if that makes sense. Anyway, I just wanted to give a quick update that I am making progress and that we are going to get it done today. Um, my God, why am I the way that I am? Anyway, self loathing aside, we are getting this done. I got to rethink this because I don't want it to be similar to my next project, which is going to be something kind of similar, has the same kind of like elements to it. I have found that I am very much an eco fantasy writer because I love that stuff. I don't know why. Probably because I live kind of like partially in the woods. So, but I have to think of something else for her origins because It's a little too similar to Project Valeria's stuff. So we are going to continue working. Yeah. I wanted to say that I did not finish this book, Story Genius. However, I did finish writing the scene of when her misbelief took root, and also was able to write 3 more scenes of when that misbelief deepened, really forming her past. And doing so also made me think about like her family of origin, where they're at, and why she's so desperate to do the thing that she's going to do for the inciting incident. I hope that this vlog has been entertaining to you guys, or at least helpful in like relating to someone who is trying to just flesh out their FMC and get to know them, which I think is super important when it comes to having a really good story. I want my FMC to, she doesn't have to be likable, but I do want her to be relatable as a person. Um, and that's why during this vlog, you guys heard me kind of process out the things that she is experiencing. Like some of the things a 20 something year old young woman, can I talk, experiences. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you're still watching, thank you so much. Let me know down below how you get to know your main characters and what I guess you do to really get into their head. Anyway, I hope you guys like this. I hope that you guys subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.